Gamescom happened just about a week ago at the time of this video, and Batman Arkham Shadow was featured during the event, showcasing a new gameplay trailer that actually turned a lot of opinions around on the game. People loved what they saw, and it was really great to see. But this video, as you can tell by the title, I was able to play a build of the game at Gamescom, and now I'm able to show you gameplay here and talk about it. Huge thank you to Camouflaj and Viral Nation for inviting me over to the event to try out the game. I was able to experience the event alongside other great YouTubers like Doomblazer, Caboose, and that boy Aqua. I cannot stress enough how grateful I am for this opportunity, and now being able to talk about it with you guys is really great. So I hope you guys enjoy what I'm about to say about Batman Arkham Shadow. But yeah, I got to play Batman Arkham Shadow, and what did I think about the game? Well, let's just talk about it. And yes, these are my own opinions of the game. If I wanted to, I could talk negatively about the game, positively about the game, but trust me, these are my own opinions before, the haters start commenting. Okay, so right off the get-go, I was a believer in this game from day one. I made a video about it saying so. I had my criticisms at first too, with it being VR, and yeah, who wouldn't want a full console Arkham game, right? But after looking more into Camouflaj and the history of really good VR games, I was always looking forward to this game from day one. And now that people have seen the gameplay trailer, a lot of people are saying this looks really good. And let me tell you, as someone that had the pleasure of playing this game, oh my god. Here's the thing. This game being VR, it's translated so perfectly into VR for an Arkham game. It legit just feels like you're in first person mode playing an Arkham game, right? Like playing this game, but before I get into the details, everything from the exploration of the dungeon to the combat to the stealth and using your gadgets, which to me felt so satisfying, it all felt so seamless here and so intuitive. Okay, but for the demo I played, which is the footage you're kind of seeing right now, this mission is set in the near beginning of the game. The build we played took out all the story bits, essentially, like the cutscenes and stuff, so that stuff wouldn't be spoiled for me or you. So it was purely just gameplay for this build that we got to play. And what it showcased was a perfect representation of how translated our Arkham series is into VR. Don't even take my word for it, like just look at it for yourself. I mean, you do the standard Arkham formula of sneaking around these air vents or using your gadgets to progress and so on and so forth. You get thug banter dialogue, it just feels like a first-person Arkham experience. But let's just get into the main components I really wanted to talk about. Let's start with the combat first. So the combat here is extremely well done. I was very impressed on how fun it actually is. So you're seeing it right now, but I'll try to explain it. The combat has a basic formula here. You usually start out a fight by just making your hands into a fist and punching at an enemy. Batman lunges at them like he does in the other Arkham games. And then from there, you just keep your combo going. They implemented the system really well. Like these yellow circles mean like punch in a rhythm with each hand. This symbol here means to use your left or right arm and knock them off their feet. You can counter enemies that come at you by attacking where they're punching, and the cool thing is that you can counter an enemy off screen. The blue symbol here on the side of the screen tells you about an incoming attack in which you have to raise your arm in that direction, and voila, you counter. And that's just the surface of it. You can implement other things like quick-fire gadgets like your battering. You can cape stun and beat people down. You can do ground takedowns, and this game introduces new animations. Like Batman will just punch them senselessly on the ground and do brutal takedowns like Batman kicking them and stuff. Batman fights brutal here in the combat. Ryan Payton, the studio lead, told us that this was an intentional choice since this is an earlier Batman that's more brutal in this universe. So not only is it fun in VR to be this brutal, but just lore-wise they acknowledge that too. Like, come on bro, just stop being a hater for like 1 second. Like, this is a very thoughtful way of going about the combat. I'm telling you, it's so fun with the rhythm style they did here that's just very akin to the other Arkham games. Throwing these punches feel very satisfying. The sound design, oh my god, the sound design here is really well done. It just feels so satisfying to throw out punches and hit people.
Sweet communion.
And I think they did a really good job in picking out what translates well to VR and perfecting that. Like, in the other Arkham games, Batman can jump over an enemy to evade. That's not in this game because nobody wants to throw up in VR, right? So the fact that they chose and kind of picked the best areas to use in VR is really well done. And let me tell you, using the battering here, just me, but using the battering here is so fun. Being able to just seamlessly pull it out and use it in combat, I don't know why. Like, I just started spamming it when I was just goofing off in the free roam because it's just so fun to use. I'm digressing, but the combat here exceeded my expectations. Like, my hand to God right now. My hand is a god. It exceeded my expectations. It's wildly impressive how it felt like first person Arkham. I mean, look at the EXP screen. They know, like, come on, bro. Look at that EXP screen. My only criticism for the combat here is that I don't think there's a perfect free flow bonus. That's just, there's a no hit bonus, but yeah, I'm just nitpicking. Unless I'm wrong and they do have it, but I don't know. If not, that'd be cool to add Camouflaj. I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased, but the Arkham games I love to death. Like, these games truly affected me as a person. They're an escape for me, so to see this company care so much and make the combat this fun, it really warms my heart. They could have easily made it feel bare bones, but the animations, the punching, the countering, the quickfire gadgets, the sound design, the post-combat EXP screen, like, dude, what more could you ask for in like a VR combat experience? And that's not rhetorical. Like, answer that for yourself. What else could you have wanted in a combat Arkham VR experience, right? Like, this is perfect to me. And it's like it's only the surface. There will be other enemy types in the game, such as riot shield guys that we didn't get to experience. There will be a variety of enemies in the game. The combat here is just so fun. And thankfully, it's very intuitive. They show you a tutorial prior to each fight, and you learn it in like a minute. This is a sigh of relief for me because the gameplay is for most people the most important part, right? And the combat here is nothing short of excellent. I was hooked right from the start. So if you're worried about the common gameplay loop of the game being boring, I'm telling you, it's extremely addicting and it's extremely fun. And it's pretty much like you're playing a first-person Arkham game. Like, you can imagine just playing this like as a regular Arkham game, just first person. It's so fun. I'm so glad they got it right. Okay, but that's enough about the combat. What about the other section of gameplay elements, which is the Predator sections? So the Predator sections here, we only got to experience one of the early Predator rooms in the game. So we went into it with like no upgrades, not a lot of gadgets, but even so, they translated Predator sections perfectly here, just like combat. Here's the thing. Like I said earlier, there's a tutorial section for each section of the game on how to play it. So for Predator, it taught you the basics like silent takedowns, inverted takedowns, how to use your smoke bombs, and all that. It's really fluid here. For silent takedowns, all you gotta do is get behind an enemy and lunge at them with open hands to choke them out. It's really easy to do. They got inverted takedowns too. Like, I use inverted takedowns a lot. It's the one I use the most in this particular section. A cool thing with these inverted enemies that are taken down is you use a battering to cut them off the gargoyle, freeing that gargoyle up so you can do another inverted takedown. I bring that up to highlight the accuracy and detail Camouflaj did to keep these sections consistent with the other games. It's really awesome. Smoke bombs. It's really cool how you use smoke bombs. You pull them from under your left arm and toss it wherever you want to use the smoke bomb. However, if an enemy spots you, the game gives you a one-button quickfire option to drop it, allowing you to escape. These basics here are done flawlessly. I was kind of worried how they would translate these kind of things into like stealth, but it works so easily. And that's the thing here, and as with the combat sections as well, they really made it so no matter what motions you do, you pretty much get the input you're trying to make. Like, I know in my VR experience, I felt really cool being as Batman, but in reality, I'm probably barely swinging my arms around and I kind of look like a clown. But from what I heard, there was other people playing this demo that were like actual martial artists, and apparently they did the motions perfectly, and it worked for both of us. Like, mine was kind of stupid and theirs were pretty perfect. This is great to hear because now you don't have to worry about the game messing up a silent takedown or a glide kick, because you can glide kick in this game. You don't have to worry about your inputs getting messed up. If you mess up, that's just on you and you suck. Like, sorry, I don't make the rules. Because the buttons are really responsive and it gives you so much leeway on how to perform these actions. So you can never really mess up an input, which is awesome. I mean, look at this gameplay. It's just a first-person stealth section of a Arkham game. Grappling up to gargoyles, vent takedowns, batarang tosses, ground takedowns, silent takedowns. All these moves that we know and love feel new here because it's VR and it's implemented perfectly. And not only that, but it will introduce new things as well that we didn't get to see in other games. Something Ryan Payne was discussing was how the explosive gel in this game is similar to the gel launcher in Arkham Origins of Blackgate, the DS game, where you shoot it as kind of a projectile. So during the Predator sections in this game, the way he was describing it was like you can shoot it onto a wall or any surface far away and use it as a trap to take someone out. Like, we really couldn't do that before. It's really exciting. The way you use your gadgets here is just really well done. Like, the battering is a one-button motion. The smoke bombs, like I said, are under your left arm. You just grab it. The detective mode is like you move your hand up to your temple and click it on. It's kind of addicting to do. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's satisfying to do. There's gliding in the game. Like when you want to glide, you raise your hands above and behind you as if you have a cape. Like, I don't know. There's so many things with Batman, right? Between the buttons and takedowns and all these gadgets. And it could be hard to do, but here everything is just so intuitive. Like I never got confused on how to do a motion or an action. I mean, the only time I guess is like silent takedowns. You need to have like open hands to perform a silent takedown. If you ball your hands to a fist, you punch the enemy. But the game tells you that. That's just me being a scrub. Like my point is that the game shows you how to do everything, and it seems so seamless. It's awesome. A big thing about games, especially with VR, which is a new experience for a lot of people, are going to be those controls. The controls are like everything to a lot of people. If you mess up like one or two things, it could bring a game down. So the fact that here all the actions are easy to perform, easy to remember, as well as having so much leeway on the inputs to give you each move that you want every time, I can't stress how important that is. Especially in stealth sections, I feel like this could have been very easy to make annoying, but it wasn't. The layout of this particular room feels like an Arkham room with differing levels and places like vents. Like, dude, you can't see it, but my eyes are like teary-eyed. Like, I'm so happy because this game's getting everything right. Okay, but that's enough for the combat and stealth. How about the exploration and the dungeon elements of this game? This area we traverse in does that pretty well. Like I said earlier, this part of the game that we got to play is like one of the first missions, basically, so obviously it's going to be a little less complicated and, you know, a little bit more simple due to that fact. But even here, it's like really well done. You have differing paths to explore. You can find collectibles. You use detective mode to see what you missed. There's thug banter in the game. Not like I didn't expect that, but it's just really cool to see here. Puzzles are here, like using a batarang to progress. Simple stuff, but like I said, it's the first dungeon, and these simple things, quote unquote, made this particular area feel like an Arkham dungeon, like some place you'd explore in an Arkham game. You know how you visit the sewers in like every Arkham game? This felt so at home with that feel, except here it works better in my opinion because, you know, the Rat King, rats, it all fits. You get rewarded for exploring as well, like you find collectibles that contain audio logs and things of that nature. Our certain build that we played didn't have the audio logs in those builds, so I couldn't listen to them unfortunately, but they are there. And you know what's crazy about the collectibles in this game? So these collectibles are being left by the Ratcatcher, and Ryan Payne's reasoning for that is that in the character bio in Arkham Asylum, this is his words, it stated that Ratcatcher used his loyal pets to relay messages and transfer materials inside the mazes of ventilation ducts and stuff. So continuity-wise, it fits perfectly here. Like, come on, dude. Like, that is an insanely cool and very thoughtful detail. Like, they didn't even have to do that, but they came up with that. So finding these collectibles just has that small connection with Arkham Asylum already, which is just really fantastic. And on top of that, the details don't stop, because this is an Arkham game, and you know what's littered in every Arkham game? Easter eggs. There were Easter eggs just in this one demo that we didn't find that Ryan wanted to show us, so he pointed them out after the fact. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but walking up to certain buildings will let you hear certain dialogues. You can interact and pick up different things in the environment, and some of these interactions are actually opening up to different kind of dialogue and Easter eggs, and even just little secrets in general, so you got to keep an eye out because, dude, they definitely cared about that Easter egg aspect, and as you explore, you can upgrade. This game has progression. Upgrade your Wayne tech stuff like you do in every other Arkham game. Like, dude, your combat gadgets, like, come on, they have it all. And there's just, I don't know, there's sprinting in the game, there's gliding in the game, there's grappling in the game. It all comes together really well, and it's just so fun. It was so addicting to play. I did not want to stop playing. Like, guys, I know I'm glazing the game. I'm glazing the game at 100%. But I said from day one, there's a lot of good that can come out of this game. And I said this game does not look bad. This game exceeded my expectations. I had pretty hopeful expectations coming into this, but this game easily exceeded that. People want a traditional Arkham game. Sure, but just focus on this game for a second. What more could you ask for an actual Arkham VR game? This combat, the Predator, the exploration, progression, like the care and detail put in, like it's all well done. The developers actually proved that they care. Like the collectibles in the game are tied to established lore from the other games, or how brutal Batman acts in his combat is also established continuity from Arkham Origins. Just look at the gameplay I'm showing you. It's really refined, thankfully easy to learn. It has that addicting gameplay the series is known for. And another thing that Aqua was saying, that boy Aqua, is that where can you really go after Arkham Knight in terms of re-innovating the series, right? And Aqua went on to say that VR is something that actually can do that, re-innovate the series, and Camouflaj pulled it off perfectly. We only got a taste of the gameplay, but that's enough for me to be hooked. And I'm super excited for Batman Arkham Shadow, especially since this comes out in a couple months. Like, this game clearly, and I mean clearly, shows so much effort and love being put into it. Everything is done with good intentions, and I'm really glad I was able to play and explain my thoughts on the game. And I really can't think of any criticisms. Everything felt flawless for a VR game. Any criticisms I have are just me being like a scrub. Like, I guess opening vents and hopping in and out was kind of hard for me to pull off, as well as cape gliding in some sections. But like, that was definitely me just sucking at the controls at first. And considering I only played for a short amount of time, I can't justify criticizing the game with what I played because everything felt so great to play. And this game is like I said, right around the corner in October. So yeah, hopefully this video and the gameplay trailer eases any concerns people have with the game. And that does seem to be the consensus after the gameplay trailer. I'm just really happy that after all these years, we're getting a proper Arkham game. And yes, it's VR, and we normally don't get VR Arkham games, but this feels like a proper Arkham game. Like, I promise you, it just feels first person. It's so fun. And it reminded me like I was playing Arkham Asylum in particular, and had some elements of the other games like Arkham Knight, Arkham City, Arkham Origins. We are getting another Arkham game. That's not hitting for people because they're tunnel visioning into one element of what is being put on. But I'm telling you, we are getting another Arkham game. This is another Arkham game. That is why I'm so happy and excited to like talk about it. But you, let me know what you think. Do you think I'm a D1 Glazer? Let me know. But as always, subscribe please. I'm trying to get 100K. Share the video, like the video, all that stuff would be great. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next video. Stay safe and peace.